You might be surprised to learn that 8% of your genes are not human, they come from other species. You have bacterial genes, fungal genes, even plant genes. For instance, did you know that the human genome contains genes from the bacterium Thermus thermophilus, which is found in hot springs? It's true, and it's all thanks to a process called horizontal gene transfer. This is where genes are shared between different species, and it's happening in you right now. You're a hybrid, a mix of different species. It's a pretty mind-blowing concept. Some of these genes have been with us for millions of years, like the ones from retroviruses that infected our ancestors. In fact, it's estimated that around 100,000 pieces of retroviral DNA have been inserted into the human genome over time. That's roughly 8% of our total DNA. But here's a surprising fact: horizontal gene transfer can even occur between species that aren't closely related, like humans and plants. For example, scientists have found that some human genes are similar to those found in the Arabidopsis thaliana plant. You're not just a human, you're a unique blend of different species, and that's what makes you, you. Imagine a library where books are genes, and you can borrow them from other libraries. That's horizontal gene transfer. You take genes from other species and add them to your collection. It's like getting a new superpower. You can do things you couldn't do before, like digest new foods. For instance, the bacterium Escherichia coli, commonly found in our gut, can acquire genes from other bacteria, allowing it to break down complex sugars like lactose. In fact, scientists have found that E. coli can even acquire genes from plants, giving it the ability to thrive in environments with limited nutrients. You might be surprised to learn that horizontal gene transfer has also occurred between fungi and algae, allowing some species of algae to photosynthesize and produce their own food. This process has been observed in nature, where certain species of fungi have acquired genes from algae, giving them a competitive edge in their ecosystem. As you explore this concept, you'll realize that horizontal gene transfer is not just limited to microorganisms, it's a fundamental process that has shaped the evolution of life on Earth. It's a powerful tool that has allowed species to adapt and thrive in new environments. Meet the proteins involved. DNA polymerase and RNA polymerase are the key players. DNA polymerase copies genes with remarkable accuracy, while RNA polymerase transcribes genes into RNA. They work together seamlessly, like a well-oiled machine. This partnership helps you borrow genes from other organisms, a process that's been happening for millions of years. For instance, you have genes from bacteria like E. coli, which is commonly found in your gut, and from fungi like yeast, used in baking and brewing. In fact, it's estimated that you have around 2.4 million genes from other species, which is roughly 40% of your genome. But here's a surprising fact: the human nose can detect over 1 trillion different scents, thanks to genes borrowed from bacteria. You might be wondering how this is possible. It's because these borrowed genes have been incorporated into your genome over time, allowing you to tap into the genetic diversity of other organisms. This genetic exchange has been crucial for human evolution, enabling us to adapt to changing environments and develop new traits. As you learn more about these proteins, you'll discover just how intricate and fascinating the world of genetics is. Your gut has 100 trillion microorganisms, a staggering number that's hard to wrap your head around. They're not just passengers, they're active participants in your daily life. For instance, the bacteria in your gut help break down complex carbohydrates like fiber, which is why a diet rich in fruits and vegetables can have such a profound impact on your overall health. Take the example of the Hadza people, an indigenous tribe in Tanzania, who have an incredibly diverse gut microbiome due to their traditional diet of foraged foods. They have been found to have up to 40% more microbial diversity than the average Westerner. You produce certain vitamins, like vitamin K and biotin, thanks to the hard work of these microorganisms. They even influence your mood, with studies showing that an imbalance of gut bacteria can contribute to anxiety and depression. You're not just human, you're an ecosystem, a complex network of species working together in harmony. Surprisingly, research has shown that the gut and the brain are connected through the vagus nerve, allowing for a constant exchange of information between the two. This has led some scientists to refer to the gut as the little brain. You're eating a sandwich, and it's a lot more complex than you think. The lettuce has genes from bacteria, the tomato has genes from fungi, and the bread has genes from yeast. You're consuming a mix of species, and it's not just about the food. It's a transfer of genes, a process known as horizontal gene transfer. For instance, did you know that the papaya tree was saved from a devastating virus by introducing a gene from the virus itself into the tree's DNA? This saved the entire papaya industry, with Hawaii's production increasing by over 40% after the introduction of the genetically modified trees. You're participating in this process right now, as the genes from these microorganisms interact with your body. It's a natural process that's been happening for billions of years. Surprisingly, scientists have found that up to 8% of the human genome is made up of viral DNA, which is a staggering example of how horizontal gene transfer has shaped our evolution. As you take another bite, remember that you're not just eating a meal, you're part of a vast network of genetic exchange that's constantly evolving. Most people think genes are fixed, but that's not the case. They can change, be borrowed, and shared. It's not just about inheritance, it's about interaction. You're not just a product of your parents, you're a product of your environment. For instance, studies have shown that identical twins, who share 100% of their genes, can have different gene expressions due to environmental factors. Take the example of NASA's twin study on astronauts Scott and Mark Kelly, where one twin spent a year in space and the other remained on Earth. The results showed significant changes in the space-traveling twin's gene expression, with around 7% of his genes being affected. Surprisingly, you have more bacterial cells in your body than human cells, with some estimates suggesting a ratio of 1 minute and 1.5 seconds. This microbiome plays a crucial role in shaping your genetic landscape. You're constantly interacting with your environment, and this interaction is what makes you unique. Your genes are not set in stone, they're dynamic and responsive to the world around you. As you go about your daily life, your genes are adapting, changing, and evolving, making you a complex and ever-changing individual. In 2019, a study found that humans have genes from ancient viruses, specifically retroviruses that infected our ancestors thousands of years ago. They left their genes behind, and now you have viral genes that are part of your DNA. It's like having a fossil record inside you. For example, the HER-VW retrovirus infected our ancestors around 600,000 years ago, and its genes are still present in our DNA today, with around 100,000 copies of it scattered throughout the human genome. You might be surprised to learn that some of these viral genes have even been co-opted to perform important functions, like helping to regulate gene expression. One surprising fact is that retroviruses have even contributed to the development of the placenta in mammals, with the syncytin gene, derived from a retrovirus, playing a crucial role in forming the placenta during pregnancy. This highlights the complex and often unexpected ways that our genes have been shaped by our evolutionary history. As you go about your day, it's fascinating to think that you're carrying around a piece of that history inside your cells, a reminder of the ancient viruses that once infected our ancestors. You're not just human. You're a hybrid of species, with a mix of genes from all over the tree of life. This means you have bits of DNA from microbes, plants, and even animals. For example, it's estimated that the average person has around 39 trillion microbe cells in their body, outnumbering human cells. You might be surprised to learn that some of these microbes have been with us for so long, they've actually become part of our evolutionary story. Take the case of the Hadza people in Tanzania, who have been found to have a unique mix of genes from ancient humans and modern microbes. What does this mean for your identity? Are you still just human? Or are you something more? Something that defies classification? You might be astonished to know that there's even a type of fungus that can control the minds of ants, making them do its bidding. This raises interesting questions about the boundaries between species and the interconnectedness of life. As you ponder this, consider the fact that you're breathing in millions of microbe particles every day, making you a part of this vast, intricate web of life.